this episode is the second of the three-part finale for Power Rangers Dino Supercharge, I really hope I have a good chunk of material to talk about for this review. In fact, I wish that all three episodes in the finale shared the same episode title, because at least that way I could review it all in one go, and not feel like I'm only talking about a segment of the story. Still though, I have a job to do, so I'm going to talk about this the best I can. This is episode 20, Edge of Extinction. The episode opens with the Rangers being called about a glowing egg that was found in the city, deciding to take it back to the lab before we get to space, where Sledge and Poisandra are preparing for their wedding. Sledge decides to give Poisandra the Dark Energem as the jewel for her wedding ring, which Poisandra says will anger Snide when he finds out, but Sledge says he plans to get rid of Snide. Unfortunately, Snide overhears about Sledge's betrayal and prepares his own plan, while at the cafe, Sir Ivan asks if there's an update about the egg the others found. Tyler says that all they know is the egg's not from Earth, so the team decides to get more info from Heckle, who it turns out is at the cafe enjoying his so-called last meal. The Rangers question Heckle about the eggs, which he explains contain Greenzilla's, and that Sledge has planted 5 others around the globe that will destroy the planet when they hatch. The Rangers ask for Heckle's help to stop the monsters, but Heckle laughs off the offer.
My help? Oh, you must be kidding. The Heckle that tried so desperately to save his own planet is the Heckle we need to help us save the Earth. That Heckle doesn't exist anymore. I touched the Dark Energem. There's no goodness left in me.
Then why did you help us against Medusa? The Dark Energem split you into Snide and Heckle. Snide is evil, but Heckle isn't. You've changed.
She's right. It's over, Rangers. Enjoy the last day of your lives. I know I will.
How very Ken of you, Heckle. The Rangers make it back to the lab, where they tell the others the bad news before the alarm sounds signaling all the Greenzilla monsters are hatching across the planet. After destroying the egg about to hatch in the lab, the team decides to split up in their Megazords to stop the monsters, but not before they all join swords and morph to symbolize their unity. Kendall stays behind with Keeper to oversee the battles as the other Rangers engage in various fights against the monsters. Tyler manages to destroy one of the Greenzillas using the Spino Charge Megazord, so Kendall sends him to help the others while Sledge and Poisandra's wedding is underway on the ship. However, things don't go well for the couple as Poisandra falls face first into the cake before Sledge is informed about the fallen Greenzilla and the missing egg the Rangers found. Sledge orders for Wrench to trace the egg's location and for Snide to look for it on Earth, and though Snide protests, Sledge says that he needs someone he can trust before walking off. Snide then takes the Dark Energem with him before going to Earth, knowing that Sledge wouldn't leave Earth without it, while the Rangers continue their assault on the Greenzillas. The 4 Megazords aren't faring well against the monsters, which Heckle sees on the news, and though he at first tries to ignore the panicking people, his tune does change after he helps a little girl find her mother. Seeing Snide's pod land in the distance, Heckle goes to confront his evil half, while Tyler and the other Zords come in to give the 4 struggling Megazords what they need to destroy the remaining Greenzillas. However, all's not well since Snide traces the missing egg's location to the museum, and after realizing the lab is underneath him, Snide breaks through the ground to get inside. Kendall suits up to face the villain after Snide destroys the crystal beds of the Energems, but she's soon overpowered, which is when Heckle literally jumps in to give her some help. Heckle's able to drive off Snide, so he and Kendall chase him back to his pod, which is destroyed by some of the other Rangers who arrive on the scene. Snide then engages in a fight with the Rangers, easily able to take them down before revealing the Dark Energem, at which point the other Rangers walk up in the Ultrazord. Snide calls on the Magna Beam, but Sledge refuses to save his partner, unaware that Snide has the Dark Energem with him, so Heckle has some parting words.
It's because of me you're in this world, and I couldn't be happier to help you leave it.
Man, I love that line. And with that, the Rangers use all their firepower to finally destroy Snide as well as the Dark Energem. After the fight, Sledge and Poisandra finally tie the knot before they discover the Dark Energem's missing, realizing that Snide stole it, meaning the Rangers now have it. Speaking of, the Rangers dig up the rubble to make sure of the Dark Energem's destruction, but they unfortunately find the gem with not a scratch on it, and the episode ends rather abruptly with the Rangers warned about Fury attacking the lab, to be continued appearing on the screen. This episode is yet another strong entry to the finale of the season, and might even be better than the last one because of how fast-paced and intense everything is. It was pretty cool to see the Rangers fight 5 giant monsters at once, and Heckle's subplot, while a little cliche, was executed well enough to show his growth as a character. When I first saw this episode, I thought it was weird that Heckle would just resign himself to Earth's destruction, especially since he seemed so focused on stopping Sledge and Medusa in the last episode, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. With the self-doubt that Heckle admits to feeling in this episode, coupled with his guilt over failing to save Sentai 6, it's entirely possible that Heckle thinks he's not worthy enough to save the Earth, and may have even convinced himself that he doesn't have enough good left in him to want the Earth saved. But by choosing to help the Rangers defeat Medusa and help the little girl find her mother, Heckle demonstrates that he still has that desire to help others, and by being shown gratitude, Heckle comes to realize how much of a difference he can make by doing the right thing. This gives him the drive to finally overcome his personal demon in Snide, similar to how Xenowing was able to defeat Doomwing after rediscovering his own humanity. Really, the only problems I have with this episode is how Sledge managed to hide an egg in Amber Beach, even though the Rangers are able to detect alien biosigns in the city, and the fact fact that the Rangers were able to defeat the Greenzilla so quickly, despite that being Sledge's master plan, but Sledge says he has a backup plan, so I guess we'll see what happens next. Overall, despite a few minor problems, this episode was an intense ride from start to finish, with a little bit of character development thrown in for good measure, and if the last few episodes are any indication, we're in for quite the finale. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you.